Want to bake the perfect New York style chocolate chip cookie? I'll show you my foolproof recipe and 4 different ways to bake them: cakey, gooey, or somewhere in between. Let's get started. I'm Kat, owner of Charmin Chic Baking, and welcome to my channel. This recipe makes 8 large 6-ounce cookies, which is a typical size of New York style chocolate chip cookies. Notice I use 2 types of flours in addition to cornstarch for tenderness, and all the ingredients should be kept cold. I'm going to be using 70% cocoa chocolate for this recipe. Start by combining the flours, cornstarch, salt, baking powder, and baking soda together, then set aside. The method of making these cookies is completely different from the standard chocolate chip cookie recipes you grew up with, but you need to trust me that these will make incredible cookies. So we start with cubed cold butter and mix only for 30 seconds to soften a bit. Then add the white and brown sugar and mix for another 30 seconds just to combine. We want to keep this dough as cold as possible. Next, add the chocolate chunks or chips. You can use milk, dark, or semi-sweet chocolate, as long as it's a good quality chocolate with cocoa butter so that the chocolate melts when baking. Mix this until just combined. Then add the flour mixture a cup at a time, mixing on low speed until the mixture resembles coarse peas. You're probably thinking this dough looks terrible and it'll never come together. But trust me, I've been making cookies since I was 13, over 30 years now, and out of the countless cookie recipes I've tried, this is by far my favorite one. And yes, it will come together. This is the texture you want the dough to be at this point, crumbly with little bits of butter coated with the flour. This is similar to making scones, which is the typical texture of the famous New York style cookies from Living. Finally, add the liquids. Lightly beat together the eggs with the vanilla extract and add this to the dough. Then mix until it comes together and your mixer starts shaking. The bowl will be clean with no dough stuck to it and no flour will be visible. That's how you know the dough is well mixed. The typical New York chocolate chip cookies is 6 ounces, but you can make them smaller, and honestly, I think 4 ounces is plenty. Just press the dough until it sticks together, but don't roll into balls because we want them to be rustic looking. This makes 8 giant cookies plus a little one that's about 80 grams, and for those of you who are on the metric system, the 6-ounce cookies weigh 170 grams each. Now for the experimental part, I'm going to divide these into 4 to bake them at different settings to show you the differences, since I get this question asked a lot. And you can do this experiment with me as well to see which cookies you like best. So, 2 I'll be baking at room temperature to start. 2 will be baked after 24 hours refrigerated, and 2 baked after 24 hours in the fridge plus 24 hours frozen. The last 2 will be frozen right away and baked directly from frozen. Just make sure to take out as much air possible from the freezer bag. I also made a gluten-free version using 1-to-1 gluten-free flour plus half teaspoon of xanthan gum and made the cookies the same method. I'll be baking these as well at room temperature, refrigerated, frozen, and refrigerated before frozen. I'll post this in the description below as well. For the first test, these were regular cookies baked at room temperature at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 18 minutes, then cooled for half an hour. They spread about 4 inches in diameter, and the texture is kind of gooey inside, almost raw. Not very tender, but still really good flavors. For the gluten-free version, I bake them the same way, and these also spread about 4 inches in diameter. They're also gooey inside and not very tender. So starting with the regular, about 4 inches. The gluten-free spread out quite a bit. We refrigerated them here, which tasted good, and these are the gluten-free versions. And here, refrigerated and frozen, regular frozen. So the gluten-free, frozen directly, so you can tell the difference between, and even here. And these are refrigerated and frozen, and these are the smallest ones there.